Hello, my name is Hakon, and welcome back, all you fabulous fighting fantasy aficionados, to Fighting Fantasy episode 155 and episode 4 of playing Strider. Yes, and last time we just lost in what I called Roman roulette. Basically, it is Russian roulette, let's be honest, but Roman roulette because it was in Rome. And I'm going to continue from that point because up until then, everything I did was right. And of course, I'm using the rule of saving time, which isn't the same as cheating, because anything that is random in a book, that means things to do with dice. If you go from the start and you do exactly the same over and over again, the outcomes will be different, but eventually they will be the same, apart from the last one that went wrong. And so you don't have to do it over and over. You just go a step back and you try again. And that is basically the same as saving time, and it's not cheating. So that's my plan. Just to recap a little bit, the story in this book is a science fiction book with a bit of tongue-in-cheek references to 80s Britain, particularly. And it's set in the future. You are a rogue tracer, that is a bounty hunter, and you are one of the elite kind of rogue tracers known as a Star Strider. And what has happened is that the evil Gromulans, not Romulans, Gromulans, have kidnapped the president of the Federation and taken him to Earth, which is a good hiding place, apparently, where they are interrogating him and trying to get him to give them, of course, by brain scanning him, the codes to the defense systems of the Federation, and if they get those, then of course they will be able to conquer the Federation, I presume. You have 48 hours to rescue the president before the codes are broken and before they will get the upper hand in any strategic conflict that might be going on. We don't have that many details of exactly what's going on there. And he has been taken to Earth, which is sort of a bit of a backwater now. The main hub of human activity and Federation activity is Alpha Centauri. The Earth has mostly become a place for the people left behind because they couldn't come to Alpha Centauri, Alpha Cent as they call it. And it's salt mining operations. It is people escaping from the law, fugitives, also quite a few of those on Earth. And the natives of Earth now, they are known as hooligans. They're a tribal society, and of course the tribes are based on, or their origin can be traced back to what football team they supported in the 1980s, which is a little bit funny, of course. So your story begins as you land in Madrid, and in Madrid you get some information that leads you onwards. Let's see, just to sort of have a look at my map here to recap a little bit. So in Madrid you get to know that there is... Yes, you get to know that you are supposed to... Well, first of all, on Earth, there are some service robots, service androids that have been planted by the Federation to help you along the way and give you some clues. But some of those may have been turned by the Gromulans, and so you have to be a little bit careful, and also have to be a bit careful in your interaction with the Gromulan police, the Grompol, to make sure they don't find out what your actual mission on Earth is. It is a very good cover to be a rogue tracer on Earth because there are so many fugitives there that it's quite common to see rogue tracers on Earth chasing up the fugitives. So you get some clues. You find out that you need to get to a com terminal, a Grompol com terminal, which will give you the location of the president. And in my previous playthrough, which I'm continuing from today, I found one such terminal in Madrid, near a bull rink, actually, and I got a clue which indicates to me that the president might be in London on the underground, and there is a reference 169A that I have to go to at some point in the game to get him. Now, the way you travel around in this game, it seems to be in 4 sections. So there's Madrid, there is Roma, there is Paris, or Paris, as you should say, and finally London, because there is only one route of transport that can take you between those points, and that is the Silverhound buses. Hover buses of some sort. Do they still have wheels? I don't think so. Usually they don't. In 1980s science fiction, no wheels. Everything hovers, basically. Right, so I go to Madrid. I found this code. I go to Rome, and there I meet another rogue tracer. That our paths seem to overlap a little bit, because she is on the hunt for someone whose name eludes me for the moment, who has some chips which may have some information on them that can also be relevant to my mission. And so that is the person I met just as at the end of my last session, where the only way I actually got to talk to him was to play a game of Russian roulette, and I lost. So this time I'm going to win the game, because I mean, I could just do it over and over again as many times as I needed, and I would win the game. So I am going to let's see. Oh, that is page 2. So I'm going to get started, and I'll see you down on my desk in a few moments. Right, here we are on my desk. I've got my supplies. I've got my character sheet, and it should be updated now for the position I am in the game. And you may notice my stamina here is 31, and that is because in this book it does not specify that any of the abilities cannot go above their initial values. And so I've chosen to let them go higher. Just see how that goes. Not that I put too much score, literally, on ability scores to start with, but just for fun, let's just see how that gets me along. So we've got my maps. So this was the first page. I can move that aside. This is the second page, and this up here is where I had my Russian roulette. I've got my dice, I've got my pens and pencil, and you may notice it's just one today, because usually, as you know, I've got these ones, and then I went to the shop today and I saw that Bic, of course I'm using Bic pens, they are the best. They have one that has, in one pen, they've got blue pen, red pen, black pen, and pencil. So basically the whole set in one pen. So I'm going to try that today and just move these 4 out of the way and use my all-in-one. Of course, the red is now, of course, going to be still quite alive by the time this pen is finished, but I just thought that was so cool. Exactly what I use in a single pen. Now, usually I didn't used to use all these colors in the past. The only reason I'm using these 3 colors now, and sometimes pencil, is because I'm mapping game books. Normally I would do everything with one color pen. It could be blue or black, depending on what I had available, and a pencil. That's usually what I had readily available on my desk. But of course, with the game book mapping, it's nice to also have the red pen, mark out where I shouldn't go, where there is an end or a death, things like that. And also sometimes different colors help the clarity of the mapping. Right, so let's go to the end here, 275 perhaps. Let's just see if that is a good place to start. Orvium, that's the name of the guy that I'm looking for now in Roma. So you stand up and walk over to Orvium, pushing his guards aside. You tell him that you want to talk. He is drunk and refuses to talk to anyone who hasn't played the game. He sits you down opposite one of his gang and throws an old 6-chamber stun gun down onto the table. He puts a charge in one chamber and then spins it. Your opponent picks up the gun and puts it to his head. Roll 1 die. That is the chamber. Roll the second die. That is his go. Now I'm going to roll this one, but of course if I fail again, I'm just going to say I won it at some point. So 2, that says which chamber is live, and he rolls a 1. Okay. If the numbers match, he has blown his brains out. Now it is your turn. Roll the second die again. So so number 2, that is the chamber. So I just basically now I roll. See, now I rolled a 2, which means I lost again. So yeah, but I'm gonna just keep doing that until I actually win it. So at some point I would win it. 50-50 chance really, and actually it's a little bit better than 50-50 because he has the first go. But if you survive, deduct 2 time units and turn to 165. So time units, that's another thing in this particular book, because you have only 48 hours to save the president, and that has to do with the interrogation technique, because they are scanning his brain, literally. So it will take 48 hours for them to get the information they need. So you can't dally. So I've got 30 time units left, that is 30 hours. And I go to paragraph 165. Orvium orders the body to be thrown out. He tells you that you are brave, but that he suspects you are from the Galactic Center. You tell him that you want the Grom firmware and Galaxy One is willing to pay a high price. He wants to know how high and stresses that it is up to date and unprotected. You ask to see, and he gives you 30 gravity seconds in front of it. They take you to an old IPX. You flip through the menus until you get to information about the president. With several seconds left, you have a choice of 2 buttons for his location. Do you press button A or button B? Okay, so my clue about the president's location was, of course, 169A. So I presume 169 at some point will be an actual reference in the book, but this is where I need the A in that. Let's have to get used to using this pen now. Oop, there we are. So 2 options. Maybe I should I think I'm going to move on to a new map now. So I'm going to do 165 here and move that to a new map. This feels a little bit strange, this pen. Nice chunky grip though. But it's a little bit, the tip is a little bit, moves a little bit to the side when you press down, which you just have to get used to, I guess. So I've got A or B, or that's not very accurate, but that is all right. So we got 38, A or 297B. And it's A, so I'm going to go to 38. You press A, and on the screen you see Q867, RT88, and 20KK. So I'm going to put that just right next to this here. 867, RT88, and 20KK. You recognize this as the open code for London base. Then the screen goes blank. Turn to 368. Okay, 368. So I may already have the information I need, actually. Orvium and his cronies come back in, and he asks you if that is not the real thing. You agree that it is, and you tell him that you have to report back and arrange for credits, but Orvium insists that you stay for a drink. Do you stay or get out fast? Now, this is where it probably would make sense to leave, but when these kinds of people insist, it is sometimes hard to leave, is it not? And 293 or 186. Leave or stay. Right. By the way, this whole encounter here is taking place in Gino's bar. So the thing is that you met this other rogue tracer who was after this target, and you split up so you could each check one location. On the way, interestingly, of course, the You bump into the Grumpole, who actually tasks you to also find this guy as well, which is a little bit strange, actually, since you're already looking for him. I'm going to try to get out fast, but again, I'm saving my game now because this is the kind of situation that easily could lead to something sticky. You tell Orvium that you'll be back in 2 gravity hours. As you leave, however, you come face to face with Brack 9, 2 grubby Excel androids. Brack, an old pirate now in semi-retirement, recognizes you and sets the Excels to hold you while he calls Orvium over and tells him of your rogue tracer status. Orvium punches you and you collapse. Turn to 313. Now, interestingly, of course, if I'd stayed, wouldn't the same guy have shown up? Anyway, 313. So let's see what happens next. So 313. You wake up with a very sore head and look around. You are in a set of crumbling underground catacombs. There is a strong, damp smell. You walk along a corridor which goes from one chamber to another. Each chamber has a dome-like ceiling. You then look down at your feet and notice water seeping in from the direction you are walking in. Soon it is up to your knees. You see a light in the distance. Could it be a way out? Deduct 2 time units and turn to 394. 394. Well, this is in Rome, so I suppose they do have catacombs. So we now have 28 time units. The water has completely filled the corridor. You must swim underwater from chamber to chamber. Throw 2 dice and add up the results. 5. This is the distance you must swim to get to the next chamber. Throw 1 die and add the number to your stamina. This is your ability to swim the distance. If your ability is equal to or greater than the distance, then you made it. Repeat the procedure 3 times. Well, my stamina is full and it's 31, so there's no way I can actually you can't actually fail that unless your stamina is less than 12. So repeat the procedure 3 times. If you ever fail, you have to wait till the water subsides, treading water and breathing the stale trapped air. This will take all your remaining time units. So basically, you will actually be running out of time. If you succeed, turn to 96. Okay, so I am turning to 96. 96. Let's just put stamina check there. Excuse me. Oh, did I say 96? I wrote 93. 96. There we are. Swim into the river, find a way out, and climb up soaking wet. Add 2 luck points. Okay. Plus 2 luck. And again, it doesn't say anything about initial scores. I'm going to just keep adding and adding. So I am up to 13 luck. Looking around, you find that the Silverhound terminal is directly opposite. Well, that is very lucky. You check with your chronograph and rush towards it just in time to see the bus take off. You have missed it. You look desperately around for a craft. There is only one zip car in the craft park and it has someone sitting inside. Do you approach the zip car owner or go back into the city to look for transport? So zip car, I'm not sure if that's a kind of a sort of private hire car or sort of a car with driver thing or a taxi. I don't know exactly what that is supposed to be, but I'm just going to put those options up there. So 2, 4, 3 city or 1, 5 for zip car. So I'm going to check out the zip car, see if that is any chance of getting. Let's see here. The owner is a rough-looking type. You look in and see that the zip car has several extra cannons fitted. You ask him if he is heading north and if he is willing to give you a lift. He looks you up and down and agrees. You get into the back and he takes off. He stays at cruising speed and ahead you can see the Silverhound in the distance. He asks you your business. Do you tell the truth or tell him that you are a trader? Okay. That depends. This depends a lot on what you think the truth is, because that's actually a bit weird, because you have the true story, you have your cover story, and then you have the lie, which is you're a traitor. There should be 3 options, really. But I don't know, for some reason I feel I can trust this guy, so I'm going to tell him the truth. So 86 trader 247 truth. He says, I thought so, and gas starts to seep into your section of the cockpit. Through a smoky haze, you realize that he is attacking the Silverhound with a group of other craft. Turn to 386. Is he there to stop me? Okay. Now this is a point where that I wasn't really expecting, because this is where, as you say, the plot thickens. There's certainly a lot going on here that has been going on that hasn't been part of the narrative, and I quite like that, because it's a little bit unexpected, but it's interesting. Did like 2 time units. Okay, so this is where, again, it's a good thing I didn't waste too much time tracing rogues, as it were. So -2 time. Okay. You come to and find yourself chained up in a warehouse full of crates marked escargot. Suddenly, someone kicks you from behind. It is a bandit. He explains that he has sold tickets to all the rogues of Paris who want to see a tracer fight. You look around and there is quite a crowd up on the crates, placing bets and shouting at one another. He frees you and throws you a pair of spiked steel gloves. You get up and see that your opponent is a typical native of Gigantis 8. He is 1.5 times your height, muscle-bound and fearless, the nearest thing to a non-fabricated ultimate warrior. The Gigantian is also wearing spiked gloves. As he rumbles towards you, you catch sight of a window by the crates. Do you try to break out or stay and fight? Okay, so I've got 2 options. Either I stay and fight, 115, fight, or break out, 5, break out. Now, there are all sorts of ways that breaking out can go wrong, because suddenly you don't just have one person who is going to be angry with you and try to kill you, but every single person in the room, especially the ones who bet, well, the ones who bet for you particularly, but of course the ones who bet against you, that might be okay with it. But the ones who bet for you, maybe that's, yeah, they will definitely want to kill you. So I think I'll stay and fight, and of course I may cheat. We'll see. You get up and try to clear your head while you slip on the gloves. Gigantian, 10, 12. Okay, so I got skill of 10 and some. Okay, that's quite a strong opponent. And if you win, go to paragraph 16. So what I'm going to do then is to roll for this battle, and of course, yeah, saving my game, of course, the usual stuff in case I. So I've got 1131 at the moment. This guy has 10, 12. So I've only got 1 skill point advantage, but it is an advantage. And I got 13 luck as well, so I can use luck points. He rolls an 11, 6. So I'm down to 29, 7, 11. He's down to 10. He rolls a double. I roll 8. Of course, doubles. When you're fighting an android in this game, there's a special rule that says that you can deactivate them when you roll doubles. The reason that is easy to do is, because that is relatively easy then, is that androids are supposed to be easy to deactivate as a safety feature, so they don't, well, go about killing people, I suppose. He rolls 7, I roll 4. He rolls 9, I roll 10. Okay. 8, 8, 9, 4, 10, 10, He's got 2 stamina left. 10, 3, and finally 4 and 7, and he is defeated. I've got 23 stamina left because I had a lot extra. Right, so let's just move that aside. And I win, and I go to paragraph 16. And I mustn't forget to drink my tea, of course, which is also part of my supplies. Okay. The others drag the insensible Gigantian away and chain you up. You watch them go out and look for your equipment. Your chronograph and catchman are on the chair close by. From what you've heard, you know that you are in Paris, and that if you could send out a code match signal, a planted android might pick it up. You stretch out your foot, trying to hook the chair and pull it towards you. Roll 2 dice and add up the total. This is a distance you will have to stretch. Roll 1 die and add the number to your stamina score. This is the limit of your stretch. So I have to stretch 5, and I can stretch 25. If the distance is greater than the stretch, you are stuck and you have failed in the mission. If not, turn to 94. So some of these stamina checks in this game, it's a bit bizarre because this game book has been using stamina checks where normally a skill check would have been used, which is a bit strange. 94, 94, 94. You pull the chair towards you with your feet until you can reach the chronograph. There are 2 possible settings. One sends a beam a short distance but in all directions. The other sends a long thin beam in one direction. So that means that if I do short direction, I might not be able to reach any, and if I do long direction, it is a 25% chance maybe that I'll get hold of one. Let's see. So 130 or 187. So it's wide or tight beam. I'll just put wide and tight as the 2 options there. Let's try the short beam. Saving my game, of course, just in case. There is a crash to the left. You twist round and see the woman you came across in Roma. She clutches a catchman and has already trussed up the rogue guard. She rushes towards you and greets you without a word. On the way out of the building, you pass another rogue enveloped in a plastinet, so that's the ones from the catchman gun. You follow her past a big industrial transport marked Escargot, and she takes you to a small bar where she buys you a caffeine stimulant. So, yeah, a coffee substitute, I guess. If you have not talked to her before, she introduces herself as Arana, another rogue tracer. Well, I have talked to her before, actually. So this means that this encounter would happen regardless of whether you talk to her in room or not. That's quite a good picture, actually. It's very sort of comic book style picture. I quite like that. Also a bit fun with the escargot as well, of course. Bit of fun there with the French, I guess. Snails, of course. In case you didn't know, escargot in French, that's what they call snails for eating. If you haven't talked to her before, she is Arana, another rogue tracer. She is working for the Groms, looking for some missing firmware. She tells you that she has followed some fugitives from Roma and that she intercepted your signal as she was passing the warehouse. She has to rush off, but directs you towards 2 Grom base stations, one to the north and one to the south. Right, so I now have a choice of going north or south. 3, 5, 6 or 2, 0, 4. South and north. I'm going to go south, 204. Yeah, why not? You walk south along a wide avenue, which leads to a bridge over a dusty expanse that must have once been a river. So that is across the Seine, I presume. You are tired, hungry, and thirsty. You notice some people entering a bar across the road called Le Spot. Do you go in and fortify yourself or carry on? Right, so do I go on? Let's see, 1, 3, 6 on and 1, 4, 8. I think I'll go in and fortify myself. See if I feel better. Inside Le Spot, it is dark. There are sealed cubicles that take credits. You put one in and a door slides open. You walk in and sit down in the single chair provided. 4 set menus appear on the screen. The descriptions are very appetizing. You opt for the most expensive menu, but all you get are the same old cubes in different wrappings. Add 2 stamina points and turn to 136. So plus 2 stamina, and then we go to 136. So stamina now up to 25. And I go to 136. You carry on, but the road becomes very overgrown and you lose your direction. Just then you see a Grom standing with his back to you. He has picked up a small snail and is in the process of inserting it into his ear. You notice that his other ear already has a small shell protruding from it. You decide to take a risk and ask him for directions to the general area you are seeking. He cannot hear you because he's got snail shells in his ears. So you tap him on the shoulder. This is a bit weird. Suddenly 2 guards appear and grab you. The Grom turns around, greatly agitated, and tells you that you are under arrest for touching a Gromulan. He stumbles off, leaving you with the androids. You put up a fight or go quietly. Right. Those usually are the options, isn't it? Putting up a fight or going quietly. 1, 6, 8. Quietly or fight. Again, I'm going to go quietly, actually. That seems to have worked so far, but at some point that probably is the wrong choice. But I'll try that. You are marched off to a nearby Grom craft and thrown into a small dark cell. After several gravity hours, you feel the craft take off. Soon you are taken into a building marked Bastille and lined up in a corridor with a row of other criminals. Androids clatter up and down, looking busy. In the far corner, there is a door marked Communications Private. You watch carefully when a Grom comes out, and you see a comterm inside. You risk going in, or will you stay where you are? So, I presume, although I suppose it wasn't sort of super obvious before, that I seem to have to try to find a comm terminal at any place I can get to get more information about what's going on now. So, comm terminal, or wait, 110. Stay. I'm going to risk it. I'm going to try to get to the comm terminal and see if I can get something from it. Probably not a good idea. You check carefully that there are no Groms or androids in sight and then stride into the room. The other criminals stare in amazement. The terminal is showing vid news as part of high security Grom TV. Suddenly you see the president with a Grom and 2 guards. You look carefully at the coordinates on the left of the screen. The first 4 groups are standard galactic space codes for Earth Sector North, but you do not recognize the last group. However, you take care to memorize the code. Okay, so again, we got some number clues here. So we got clues. We have clues down here, didn't we? So that's clue there. And then we have here MK222. So we got these numbers here now. MK222F OSP or 0SP 22 BUR 44LP and 824B. And it says that the first 4 groups are standard galactic space codes for Earth Sector North, but the last group is the one that is the odd one out. So that's probably the most significant one of those. So that might be the main clue there. Right. You memorize the code, yeah. You head for the door, but just then Grom walks in. He emits a muted scream and you move to hit him, but he collapses in a fearful heap. You go through the door and are promptly grabbed by 2 XLs. Turn to 322. So 3, 2, 2, 2, 2. You're thrown into a dark room. You are deprived of all your senses until a Gromulan face appears before you. Let's see, I'll just start to number my map here. So this is FF27, number 3, because it looks like I'm very close to page 4 now. You are deprived of all your senses until a Gromulan face appears before you, and in a voice that seems to surround you tells you that they know about your mission through their galactic moles. All they need is for you to confess, and you will not be harmed. So it sounds like I'm being interrogated in some kind of fashion. Do you confess or say nothing? Well, I can't confess, and also, they may not know what my mission is. They might just say that they know to get me to reveal it to them. So let's see, 57, confess, and 249, nothing. Okay, so 249, saying nothing. You wake up in a dark, damp, dismal room. You are chained up. You look up and see a hideous sight. A Grom stands before you with snakes growing out of his head. All the time you hear a command inside your brain. You will tell us about your mission. You will tell us about your mission. Test your fear factor. Okay. 4, and my fear factor is 11, so I'm fine. So let's see, test fear. If you're frightened, reduce your stamina by 2 points. Repeat the test twice more. Okay. 9 and 3, so I'm fine. If you lose 6 stamina points, your control is broken and you have revealed your mission. If you have lost 4 stamina points or less, turn to 47. Okay, that's quite a good way to do a sort of a mechanic of resisting something, I think, to use. Yes, that's quite good. I do like that. So, okay. And revealing your mission now actually takes you to the same paragraph as confessing. So yeah, obviously that's not the right choice at any point. And then I'm going to 47. I'll probably change pages now. So I'm going to, just to make sure, because I don't know how much else that's happening on this map that I may have missed now. So I'm just going to keep making this rather linear up the map to make sure there's plenty of space. It's better to have too much than too little. Once it gets cramped, you can't read the map anymore. I know all about that. So I'm going to put that last paragraph again, 47 here, on my map here. And then it says, suddenly the scene changes. You are standing by a beautiful beach, the sun is setting, and you know that you are rich and powerful. But you cannot remember any details. You are about to remember when your rogue tracer mind training reasserts itself, and you know that this is just another Grom brain game. The scene fades into darkness. 4 doors appear. A voice tells you that 3 of them lead to death and 1 leads to freedom, and that the choice is yours. You're also forced into a decision by the wall behind you glowing red hot and pushing you towards the doors. The doors are marked with chess symbols. Do you choose the pawn, the knight, the rook, or the bishop? Right. Do I have any clues at all about what might be the right option there? So 23, 1, 6, 6, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 5. There was something, didn't I see? Was there some other? I'm just having a half memory now of some other place in this book. There was something about chess was mentioned. I'm just making that up in my mind. I'm sure I saw something. Anyway, let's see. Pawn, knight, rook, or bishop. I'm going to go with the rook. 212. So I go to 212. It says turn to 23. Okay. You step into empty space. You spin as though weightless and a beam blasts at you. All that remains of you is some dust in the corner, soon to be swept under the carpet by a faulty sweepertron. So that is not correct. And I have played for such a short time, I will make a second choice. I'm going to go and use my finger bookmark, go back and do everything exactly the same until this point and make a different choice. And I'm going to go with a bishop this time, 225. Again, that is a wrong choice. Also go to 23, it says. So I'm going to have to try again. Knight. And that is, it says here, the correcto. Why is that the correcto? I don't know. Is there a clue to or a hint as to what is the correct one here? I'm not sure. Otherwise, there's a 1 in 4 chance of failing. And this is exactly what I was going on about last time. Unless you actually give someone a clue to what a choice is, then yeah, that's not very good, is it? Yeah, we open the correcto at 2 lock points. Plus 2 lock. 14, let's see. 25. Okay. It opens into daylight outside an old high wall. You cannot believe that the Groms have let you go, and then you look to either side of you. 2 Exels in ritual dueling armor stands with neutron swords raised above their heads. The beams swish downwards. You drop flat onto the ground. When you look up, you see that one of the Excels has a deep gash through its chest piece, and while you watch, it falls over in a cloud of acidic self-destruct. The other Excel has lost its right arm. They have missed you and hit each other. The remaining android comes at you. One-armed Excel, skill 4, stamina 4. If you lose, you have no excuses, it says here. Yeah, okay. So, 4, 4. Oops, hang on. That's not the right one. I am here, and it's 4, 4. Okay. And if I win, I go to 328. While you dash off down... Oh, hang on. I should roll the battle, shouldn't I? Even though it's 9, 3... so I lose 2. Let's see, 23... hang on. I don't lose, do I? Because it's 11 versus 4. That's 7... no, I don't lose. I no. And 6 and 9. Okay, yeah. So that's. And I still have 25 stamina, and I win that one. While you dash off down the back streets, you hear a craft taking off very close by, and obviously looking for you. In your haste, you find yourself in a blind alley. There is an open warehouse door on the right and a pile of rubble on a broken manhole on the ground in front of you. Do you go into the warehouse or down the manhole? Okay. It all feels a bit. I mean, the last little bit here it just feels a little bit random. You go somewhere, something happens, you get knocked unconscious, then you're somewhere else, and then you're unconscious, then you've been interrogated, then you have a sort of a strange puzzle thing, and then you're outside, and then you have to escape from someone, and then you go somewhere random again. It's a little bit messy. Unless the feeling that's supposed to be instilled here now is that feeling that you have no idea what's going on really. But yeah, I don't know. It's still a bit somehow. Right. So we got two options. 365 or 87. So that is the warehouse or the manhole. Manhole. Yeah. If in doubt, go down. You walk along what seems to be an old sewage system, wading through water and sludge. You come to a fork in the tunnel. Do you take the left-hand branch or the right? I'm still waiting a little bit now for any sense that what's going on is sort of flows logically from the narrative, but we'll see. Left, right. I'm going to go right this time, 202. You stagger along for a while until you see a light ahead. You find another collapsed roof, but it is very high. There is a thick metal grille blocking the rest of the tunnel. Another collapsed roof. Did I see another collapsed roof before? I didn't really. I just saw a collapsed manhole. Anyway. There is a thick metal grille blocking the rest of the tunnel. Do you try to leap up to the hole, or will you go back and take the left-hand fork? Okay. I'm going to try to leap up, 229. Me as well. Throw 3 dice and add up the total. 5, 2, and 3. 10. This is the distance up. Throw 1 die and add the number to your stamina score. This is your jump. That is 27. If your jump is equal to or greater than the distance, you have been successful. Again, you're using stamina where you should be using skill. This is quite bizarre to me, actually. Because this one actually makes sense to do with skill, because you want something that has you're doing 3 dice for the distance, and then you are doing 6 plus 2 dice, I suppose, skill plus a roll, for your attempt, which gives you a certain chance of failing. But of course, if you haven't lost stamina, then all these tests are too easy. So it's almost like the person writing this book forgot to use skill as a test and when appropriate. So let's see. So again, it's a stamina test, and successful, you go to 32. 32. You look around. You're in the grounds of a well-kept house. You walk through the gardens and then hear someone calling. It turns out to be a Grom who has come out of the house. It tells you that he is glad you have come, since the acidity regulator is faulty, so the illusioscope will not work and the androids are incapacitated. It takes you past several immobile androids to his com-term and looks at you expectantly. You cannot resist the opportunity, so you grab him and threaten him into consulting Grom's security with details about the president. The blood drains from his thin face as he quickly fumbles with the keys. Then he collapses in a dead faint. Deduct 2 time units and turn to 237. Again, very random, very sort of haphazard. It's a bit strange now, because the first part of this book, when you arrive in Madrid and Rome, felt very structured, and now it's all a bit sort of hodgepodge, and yeah, I don't know. I was quite enjoying the narrative, and now the narrative has sort of disappeared somewhere into some kind of strange randomness. 2 time units. I surely should have lost more time at some point here, because that's another thing, isn't it? I mean, you got knocked unconscious, you suddenly were in Paris, you've been interrogated by the Grompol, and all this while, I don't think I've lost much time, bizarrely. So, yeah, anyway. 237 is my next paragraph. 237. The Grom has top-level security rating. You ask where the galactic president is being kept. You get Q867 RT88 20KK 169A824B, and this is similar to what I had before. Why am I getting duplicate things? Why am I obsessed about finding a com terminal if I keep getting the same information? So Q867 RT88 20KK 169A and 824B. Okay, so I already have all those pieces of information before. Right, so 824B got that, 169A, I have that, and I have those first three already. I'll just make a note of it anyway, the whole set there. So Q867 RT88 20KK 169A and 824B. So that's a whole set of coordinates there, which I already had, which also makes this even more sort of random. The first three sets you know are standard Earth codes for the London area. The last two sets you note down or note down again in confirmation if you already have one of them. But I have both of them, which is a bit bizarre. You rush outside straight into a Grompol android escorting the real power tech. Before it can pull out a stun gun, you are onto it. Grompol escort. If you win, turn to 309. So I'm fighting a 9-8 android. I've got a 2 skill point advantage. He rolls 6, I roll 3. Let's see, get my pencil out there. So 23, 10, 6, and 21, 3, 2. Doubles, he is deactivated. If you win, turn to 309. So 309. Oh, hang on. If you win, turn to 309. And then it says, as you make your way through the city, you check your chronograph. Okay, it seems like sort of so much has been skipped again. It's sort of, yeah, it's just becoming a little bit sort of patchwork, you know. As you make your way through the city, you check your chronograph and realize that you will need transport to London as soon as possible. You see a transport craft marked escargot and crates labeled with a circle and a horizontal line through it. That's a symbol I've found before, of course. So do you stow away on the transport or go back to the Silverhound terminal? Again, very random, very almost Deus ex machina, very contrived that this should be. And I feel there's so much narrative that's not being. It's almost like the writer has spent so much time on fleshing out or sorting out and streamlining the Madrid section and the Roma section, and then got too close to the deadline and had to rush it at the end. That's what it feels like. And so just, yeah. So Silverhound. I'm not going to go back to the Silverhound terminal. I haven't even been at the Silverhound terminal in Paris. I don't even know where it is, do I? Well, actually, I do, yes, because I didn't I? No, that was in Rome. It was in Rome I sort of approached. I was right next to the Silverhound terminal, but I haven't been to the Silverhound terminal in Paris. Yeah. So stow away 239. The transport is of standard galactic General Rocket Motors design, and you are skilled in stowing away on these. The robo-loader ignores you as you slip between the plastic crates and raise the lid of the emergency humanoid operator's cab. You slip in, check the rations, and find a good selection. You set your alarm and fall asleep, add 6 stamina points, and turn to 208. I suppose if you get hungry, you could eat some snails. plus 6 stamina. So stamina is now 20. Oops. 27. 208. The chronograph wakes you up just as the transport is landing. You get up and stroll through an open hatch. A robot ignores you as it unloads the crates. You look around but see nothing except a bleak wasteland. Hang on just 2 seconds because I'm just checking something. Yeah, that's fine. Was I out of... Oh, hang on. Have I been out of focus for the last 19 minutes on my desktop? I really hope not, but I just focused my camera and it looks like maybe I was. I do apologize. The only feature is a tunnel entrance into which the crates are being conveyed. There is a sign above the entrance, a circle with a horizontal line through it. So that's the London Underground, obviously. You walk into the tunnel, and to your left, you see an old poster stuck on a brick wall. Add 4 lock points. So this seems like the right place to be. Plus 4 lock, which is a lot, actually, when you think about it. And my luck is actually 18. Okay. Study the poster carefully and use any clues you have acquired in your travels. You are at the southernmost point of the tunnel system. Keep this page marked since you will have to refer back to work out your relative position. Okay. Southernmost point of the tunnel system. So that's here. Okay. You walk into the tunnel until you come to a small chamber stacked with crates. Beside the tunnel continues in a northwesterly direction. Beside the crates, you see a sophisticated speedboard with several attachments, including an old-fashioned neutron sword. Do you jump on and take it, or approach carefully to see if anyone is around? Let's have a look at this map now. So, of course, now we have map references. B, it says these numbers. A, it says these numbers. And I am going to A169 and B, what was the B again? 824B. So 824B is 87654. That's this one here. Number 59. 59, 61, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Which means I'm supposed to go to this station here is where I'm supposed to, where the president is being kept, I guess. Okay. Right in the middle, sort of. Let's make a note of that's where the map is, 208. A neutron sword. Do I jump on and take it or approach carefully? Okay. So let's see. Three, 2, 3, or 2, 7, 4. Carefully, careful, or jump. I'm going to be careful and go to 3, 2, 3. You approach carefully with your back to the crates. Suddenly, a strange horned dog-faced creature leaps out at you. Excuse me. Its coarse hands grip your throat and fangs lodge in your shoulder. Which, by the way, in lots of game books, that means you should already have lost a few stamina points there already, just for that having happened. So 3, 2, 3, 9, 8. So I've got a 2 skill point advantage. He rolls 7. I roll 6. So that is him down to 6. 6 and 9. He's got 4 stamina left. 5 and 5. He's got 2 stamina left. 11 and 6. I lose. Let's see how much I have. 27. So that's 25. And he rolls 6. I roll 5. That means he is dead. So that is all fair and square. And I go to 2, 6, 6. 2, 6, 6. You jump on the speedboard and coast along the tunnel in a northwesterly and then northerly direction. Turn to 253. What happened to the neutron sword? Because that's still there, isn't it? 253. Let's see what happens if you grab for the sword. Hang on, I did the map at the wrong place now. So that's... Oh, no, I put the wrong references. So that is jump, and that's careful. Okay. 253. You notice alarm lights flashing as you travel along. In front of you, 2 heavy metal doors are slowly sliding shut. You think that you might just make it. Test your luck. And I made it. Luck goes down to 17. Again, no initial scores are mentioned anywhere. If you're lucky, turn to 85. Let's see, luck. So we have lucky and unlucky. So unlucky is it's death. And lucky is 85. Okay. Deduct 2 time units. Okay. I'm thinking time's probably going to go a lot faster now for some bizarre reason, even though it shouldn't really, because you've been traveling through all of Europe, and now when you're on the London Underground, that's when time is going to speed up. I'm just guessing really wildly now because I've only used half the time. Deduct 2 time units. You are in a chamber with a blocked exit south and exits west or north. Okay, so this is where I'm probably going to have to start. This could be a sort of a maze kind of map now, based on the map I had earlier. Or maybe I'll just go and do another page for that. I really should, in this case, I really should have had a photocopy of the underground map, probably. But I'm going to first find the underground map now, so I can sort of get an inkling of. So I would be here at this point here, and I want to go up there. So there's blocked exit south, exit west or north. So that's this here, west or north. And I want to get here, so I want to go north. Now this is where, when of course one has, this is just like navigating the London Underground. You have to know where to change lines, I guess. I'm going to do 85. Let's just do 85 here, shall we? So I think that'll work. And then we have west and north. Because south is now blocked. West 53 and north 267. Of course, it is possible that the shortest route isn't the best route. But north. Test your luck. Okay. So unlucky and lucky. That's luck. 21 and 35. Unlucky and lucky. I roll 7. Luck goes down to 16. And I go to 21. You are in a chamber with blocked exits to the north and southeast. Do you go northeast, east, southwest, or west? So, so it's east. Let's see, east, south, southwest, west. So east 48, east 62, northeast 85 southwest or 7 west. Again, let's have a look at the map. So I am now here. So the question is if I should go northeast or if I should change to the eastern line, maybe. That looks like a good place to get to the right place. So I'm going to just swap to going east, I think. North was blocked. It said southeast was blocked. So it makes sense to go. So it's either northeast or east. I have to go. I'm going to go east 48. So you're in a chamber with a blocked exit southeast and exits east, west, and northwest. Okay. East 331. So I want to go east now. 331 east. Deduct 2 time units. See, I told you, time does pass really slowly, apparently, or really fast, rather, on the London Underground, but not so fast if you travel through the rest of Europe. So basically, it's quicker to travel across Europe than to travel through London. It just seems like it's fast to travel through London, but it takes ages. It's a kind of strange illusion. We're in chamber with a block tunnel south and exits west, east, and north. So west 48, yeah, and east 27, and north 139 is north. I still want to go east, but that is certainly seems the easiest part. I'm not going to check the map again now. So now I've gone east twice. It's a blocked exit south, didn't it? Yeah, blocked tunnel south. So I'm on this junction there. So now it is possible it's blocked here, but I'll continue eastwards, see if that works. So 27. This is a little bit like the oxygen thing actually earlier, because it's just a bit sort of, there might be some blocked things and you're running out of time instead of oxygen in this case. You speed into the new tunnel and impale yourself on a mast of long steel spikes. The tunnel was merely an illusion, a Grom trick. But it's on the map. That is a good example of an unfair ending, I think. Now I'm going to continue now because obviously I'm very close to the end now, so I'm just going to continue. I'm just going to go back and go north instead. And also that was ridiculously unfair and illogical. You're in a chamber with a blocked exit east, but other exits south or west. There's also an exit north, which slopes down. Okay. Because I want to go east, but then I have to go round, I suppose. Okay. So it's south, west, north. North is, looks a bit dangerous. 384 north. So maybe I should go west again then in that case to 62. You're in a chamber full of crates. There are exits blocked by rubble to the north and west. Deduct 2 time units. Again. -2 time. 18 hours left. And we can go east. south, southwest, or northeast. So let's put that up there then. 318 northeast, which is the only new direction I can go in. So I'm going to go northeast, 318. You are in a chamber. In the corner stands a deactivated Excel. Behind it is a door marked with a chess knight symbol. Do you go through the door? There is a blocked exit northeast and other exits north, south, and southwest. So there's north, 353, south 139. I do have 139 there, and southwest 62. Got that. Blocked exit northeast. Let's have a look at my map again. So now I went. Let's see. So I went just to see where I am on the map now. So I started here. I went north. And west, north, and one there. Oh, I can't go over there. I suppose the only thing that makes sense really is to go check out the door, I suppose. The door is 387. So this is 387 door. I see I should have spaced out this even more, of course. You are in a large room. In the corner there are 6 grums, all with snail shells poking out of their ears. What's the deal with the snail shells? They are trying to play a game of chess, but roll about in uncontrollable laughter as each in turn upsets the pieces. You sense something behind you and you turn around to see a horned guard with an arm upraised about to sink an axe into your head. Why did I stop to let it? North it is then, 353. I'm not going to stop now, I'm just going to keep going. Deduct 2 time units. Again, soon spent more time here than I did in the whole of passing through Europe, including getting knocked unconscious twice. Okay. Time -2. The tunnel divides. There are exits east and south. East 37. And to the north there's an exit blocked by a heavy steel door. Okay, so there's a door there, that's fine. So I should be somewhere up here now. I do want to go east as much as possible now, 37. You're in a chamber with blocked exits south, northeast, and northwest. There is an unmarked door and exits west and east. Okay. Okay, so in and east 116, and then there's a door 20. So blocked exits south, northeast, and northwest. That might be here. East and northwest. Yes, that is probably there. So I should really be south is where I'm meant to be. Wondering if I have to go around to get to it, maybe. I'll check out the door. If I die, I'll just go back again and just do the thing again, I suppose. Check out the door. Yeah, the doors are basically deadly now. So the door opens easily and you see a 3D projection of the Galactic Rescue Fleet. You look around and realize that you are in a Grom transmission studio, which is beaming out the latest news to the Grom ComTerm screens. As you wonder at the size of the rescue fleet, a Grom technician walks in, sees you, shrieks, and runs out again. Before you can move, a Gigantian appears, who straightens up as he comes through the door and looks at you. You clutch the neutron sword, which apparently I did pick up, even though it didn't say. But the Gigantian opens its mouth, and a Corellian death bolt shoots out and into your forehead. You have no chance. Again, a bit of an unfair and bizarre death. So I'm going east 116, I suppose. Test your luck again. Bit random that too, isn't it? And let's see, luck. So 336 or 374 unlucky and 336 lucky. Roll 6. Luck goes down to 15. And I go to 336. Deduct 2 time units. Again, -2 time. Okay. That was definitely right, that this takes longer than anything else in the whole of the universe to travel on the London Underground. You're in a chamber with exits east, west, and south. So this is possibly where I have to turn south, maybe. Or east, let's see. So east 12. West is 37. South is 326. 326. Let's check out my map again now. So that means I should be here. I went east here, didn't I? So I want to go south, don't I? So I want to go south. 326. Test your luck again. And I was lucky again because my luck is so good. Okay. Now this part of the game is a little bit boring and bland, let's be honest, and lots of paragraphs that just don't do anything for the narrative. It's just a maze. It's not an exciting maze at all. Really, it could have been done in a much nicer way. It's a bit bizarre because this is actually a book that starts out well and then well, I suppose some other books are like that too, but many of them, they rise in my esteem as I play through them. This one is sort of sinking in my esteem as I play through it because it was better earlier. Right, I need to change memory cards on my camera. I will be right back. Right. Memory card has been swapped and I am ready to go into this ridiculous maze again. Lucky or unlucky, it says. So I have to, let's see, so that's 180 or 343. 180, 343. Luck. That is unlucky. Okay. Did I roll for that already? I didn't. Never mind. 180, I am lucky. You are enveloped in a prehistoric forest full of strange creatures. Because this is the illusion thing. The ground is a swamp with snake-like creatures slithering through it. All the exits are hidden from you. There is no mere illusion, but a full-scale This is no mere illusion, but a full-scale Grom reproduction. You make no headway on your speedboard, so you abandon it and start hacking through the undergrowth with a neutron sword. It is impossible to tell the best way to go. Will you choose heading A, B, and C? Seriously, completely random suddenly. Okay. It is, let's be honest, a little bit daft. 1, 2, and 3, because now I just choose at random as opposed to actually trying to follow a path that I did earlier. 3, 5, 9, C, B, and A. Now, let's have a look at the map again. So I was supposed to be there. So I'm supposed to be at this junction here now. So it's either west, north, or east that I can go from here. Oh, well, I see that 3, 2, okay, 3, 2, 0, that 3, 2, 6. I don't have any other numbers. A, B, or C. Let's just try A, then let's see what happens. 3, 2, 0. You hack your way through the forest until you are exhausted. You sit down and a Gromosaurus steps on you. Now that is a terrible, 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 terrible ending. I mean, terrible, terribly written ending. Okay. I'm starting to lose my patience a little bit for this book now, because it is a bit of a cop-out writing here at the end. 220, I'm going to go with B. You cut your way through the undergrowth. Once, when you happen to look up, you see a metal ladder going straight up. You climb this and find yourself in a tunnel going northwest. As you walk along, random and irregular parts of the floor open up and shut. From the flames and the heat below, you realize that you'll have to watch your step. Yeah. Throw 1 die. This is the section that has opened. Throw a 2nd die. This is the one you're standing. If the first number is the same as the second, you have fallen into the fiery furnace. Repeat 3 more times. Okay, so basically, see if you get doubles 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. Nope. If you survive, go to 2, 7, 8. Wrong color. 2, 7, 8. So doubles times 4 equals death. Okay, 2, 7, 8. You come to a door which slides open as you approach, and there in front of you is the president. There are no guards, just the Grom scientist with his back to you. The president is still being brain scanned, so you know that he has yet to reveal the codes. You wrench the scanner off his head and the Grom turns around. He nearly faints with fright, as is quite common with the Groms, it seems. But then he disappears from your sight using a personal illusioscope. You grab the president. He is unresponsive, so you have to carry him out. Reduce your stamina by 4 points. Right, 21. The chronograph shows, let's see, so stamina minus 4. Your chronograph shows at you that there is a tall structure fairly close. You'll need to get on top of it for the rescue. Okay. The door you came through is now sealed. Is it? Why? So you check the panels around the room for another exit. You find one that sounds hollow and you kick it in. Right. It collapses and leads into a very old dark tunnel full of 200-year-old rubbish. Turn to 24. Okay. Right. So I'm going to move up here now. 24. You carry the president through the tunnel and come to the bottom of a spiral staircase. Next to the stairs is a large, very old-fashioned elevator covered in ancient ads that mean nothing to you. You can hear your pursuers. I suddenly have pursuers now, apparently, which I haven't heard about before, even though, yes. Do you try the elevator or go up the stairs? The elevator If it's 200-year-old rubbish as well, sounds a bit risky. There's no reason why it should be connected to anything. So I'm going to do the stairs, I think. Lift. Stairs, 371. You climb what seems to be an endless spiral of metal steps, but you can hear footsteps following you. You are caught by 2 guards in radiation suits, but because the stairs are so narrow, you fight them one at a time. You can fight them with a neutron sword, since they do not use stun guns or blasters, but long spikes tipped with neuron splat. Remember that you are carrying the Galactic President and should have reduced your stamina as directed. If you win, turn to 338. I'm not even going to bother rolling that up at this point. Sorry. So I'm going to go to 338 because I will win at some point, and the ending of this book is getting a bit ridiculous for my taste. You come up into a devastated landscape with the faint green tinge of radioactivity. You see the tower a short distance away. The chronograph emits the coded rescue signal when you reach the bottom of the structure. There is no one around, and you suspect that the very high radioactivity is responsible. The tower is just a block of concrete with a ladder on the side. You will need all your strength to climb it with the president on your shoulders. Throw 2 dice. This is the strength factor needed to get to the top. 6. If this is greater than your stamina score, then you collapse halfway up the ladder and both of you fall to your deaths. If you make it to the top, turn to 263. Again, that's a reasonable use of stamina, but a strange way to do a test. Stamina test again. 263. You reach the top and stand at the highest point. The chronograph is now emitting a visual signal. You see the rescue craft coming at catchnet height, and you brace yourself. You are both caught in the plastinet. You are pulled in and greeted by a space cruiser commander. The president is taken to his security quarters. The president, you are left standing around. Suddenly, the first lieutenant whistles in amazement. What in the galaxy is that? You look at the vid screen. A winged, fire-breathing creature with huge talons is chasing you. Well, they suppose they had to put a dragon in, didn't they? I mean, look at that. The lieutenant waits for your advice. You reply that it's just another Grom illusion. May not be, though. Would you advise him to ignore it or to fire a missile at it straight away? I'm going to assume, well, one should always assume in this situation that it's not an illusion. They did have the dinosaurs down there. So 3, 4, 6, and missile, ignore. So I'm going to go with a missile, 155. So why is he asking me? I don't have. This lieutenant, he actually outranks me. Your wise not to trust the Groms. Your missile hits the dragon and causes a mega explosion. Not just an explosion, but a mega explosion. The creature was a missile with an elusoscope on board. The rescue craft speeds off to the mothership and the fleet. Turn to 400. Thank you very much. 400. Very short paragraph 400. You have succeeded in your mission. The Galactic President grants you an Iridium Amex credit card. You will not have to go through the dangers and loneliness of the rogue tracer lifestyle ever again, although I presume since you're one of the best in the galaxy that you really were rich enough not to do that unless you wanted to anyway. Well, at least until you are needed for another special mission in the wake of the Gromulans' quest for revenge. Right. I thought the end of that book was absolute rubbish. I mean, seriously, it had such promise in the beginning. There was a nice narrative. It had a nice flow. And then suddenly it just feels like, well, first of all, that you can't make a wrong choice. It just felt like all the choices were right. And almost everything was decided by the dice. I mean, that was a very disappointing ending, I must say. So normally when I get to the end, I'm feeling a bit elated because I've solved the puzzle. But in this case, and you got the vital information that you needed to actually get to for you to know where to go on the underground map. You got it twice as well, which is also a bit daft. You got redundancy, which I suppose, I mean, it is good with redundancy. It's just that in this case, it just feels a bit contrived, as if there is almost. I suppose it's almost because the writer has put in the pointless maze of getting out of the bull ring, the Toreador arena, the bull arena, with that sort of strange maze, and then now the underground maze as well is also nearly completely pointless. And so much space in this book has been wasted on those things at the expense of a narrative that suddenly there was no room for, and it has to sort of skip really quickly ahead and basically remove most possibilities of a choice-based narrative towards the end. So I find that a little bit disappointing, to be honest, but I still haven't played Skylord, so of course I may have greater future disappointment in my future. Who knows? In any case, I mean, I did find the first part of the book rather enjoyable, I must say. I'm gonna grant it that. But yes, too linear, way too linear, and the way it was structured, and of course all that randomness at the end was a bit daft, and yeah. But next time I'm going to play one I'm actually quite looking forward to now. This is more up my street, I think. This is Phantoms of Fear. This is one of the last few books I actually owned myself back in the 80s. I bought this, one of the two books I bought new, actually. I bought the, 3 books I bought new. There was Warlock of Fire Top Mountain, which I bought in Norwegian, of course. That was the first one. Then I bought the other ones second hand, most of them. And then I bought Phantoms of Fear new, and I bought Midnight Rogue new. And that was the last book. And because 28 and 29, those two were the ones that were published while I was playing these books, and that I saw in the bookshop, and that was only available to buy new. And Phantoms of Fear, of course, I never got into this. I did try playing it a little bit, I think, but I thought it was a bit strange for my taste. I'm probably really going to enjoy it this time, though, I think. Yeah. So I'm quite looking forward to that. So Star Strider, nice with a bit of sci-fi, and there was a lot of nice humor especially in the beginning, and there was the references to hooligans and some different things. It was all right, but the end, I mean, seriously, it was so just randomly patched together, and you just suddenly randomly appear where you need to be, and you get knocked out and you get up again, and etc., and sort of all that thumping thing. Yeah, no, and of course the time thing as well, where it takes you 2 time units to travel from one major European capital to another, and then it takes you 10 time units to get through the London Underground. Yeah. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that, even though it got a little bit strange, I suppose. Not my fault, I don't think. And I will see you next time with a bit more fighting fantasy fun, I suppose. Phantoms of Fear. That's a lot of Fs, isn't it? Maybe I should do it on a Friday as well. So I have a Fighting Fantasy Friday with a Fighting Fantasy Fun playing Phantoms of Fear. So I'll see you then, and thank you for watching, and goodbye for now. Bye.